Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. I just had from a subscriber in Australia who's very upset about the way that things are going there. He says the Australian government just shows there are all kinds of different opinions about things and about the way that things should be handled, and one may be completely opposite to the other. But our friend here says Australian government needs to bring in martial law to stop unlawful Australians being morons and looters in shops. Greed has taken over. We were once called the lucky country, but in just 2 weeks of fear and chaos, Australia is now to the world the dumb country, full of selfish idiots. No longer united, but divided. Shame, shame, shame. Aussie lowlifes. And what he's talking about is there's a picture of a shopping cart and it's absolutely overloaded, and I know that feeling. He also posted there, said that he would, as a postscript, he said that he would feel safer in the Philippines right now. And we went out today, as I've mentioned, we went out today, and certainly life has slowed down a great deal, but we stopped at several small vendors in order to avoid going into the big supermarket and standing in line without the benefit of, admittedly we got a mask, I had a mask, but I can't imagine that the lines could allow for this social distancing, which we see when we see the president deliver a speech. He doesn't have anybody close to him anymore. They are at least a meter and a bit away. And when the announcers or presenters on television are delivering the news, they are also not standing fairly close to each other like they normally do. They're standing very well spaced apart. So what our friend is saying here, that he's ashamed because people are being selfish and stocking up on things that possibly they will never ever be able to use, because this thing will pass. It will pass. We had the massive flu of a few years ago, and it did take millions of people. I'm taking it that it was worldwide. We don't have the education system we didn't have the education system in place back then, because we didn't have social media. And now everybody is a source of information, good, bad or indifferent. They are a source of information. Like now, I am able to tell you what it was like in the town of Talabon today. And this is it's a real report. But for the time that I was there, this is how it was. When I went into the bank was still operating and serving people inside the bank itself, and there were 2 ATM machines that were working. When I went to a fast food place, Jollibee, there was only one cashier working, and that was well, every place that there was a cash desk that was empty, they still had a bottle of sanitizer, so you could sanitize your hands. They were wearing masks, they were being very careful, and they were sanitizing as they went along as well, as near as you can get it. And this time, unlike the last time, I did see that there were people wearing masks. But things were still open, and we didn't want to go into Alturas because, as I said, to go into the supermarket we would have had to be at risk. So we drove out of Talabon, and there is a junction out of Talabon. There's a T-junction, and the bottom of the T takes us home. It's barely a mile, right? And in that mile we saw maybe 3, 4, 5, possibly more small vendors who were selling all kinds of stuff. Lots of vegetables. We were able to, good night honey, I'll be there soon. We were able to buy 30 eggs, and the 30 eggs cost us 300 pesos. I asked Beth, because it was me that was buying, I got out of the truck and bought that. I could have had any variety of vegetables had I chosen to take them. But I actually felt guilty that I took the 30 eggs, because that's what was there, the 30 eggs. Well, that was a tray. So that's normally what we buy. I didn't ask to buy 10 trays in case we ran out. I bought what I normally would have bought, or what Nana would normally have bought, would be a tray or maybe 2 trays of eggs, because we eat a lot of eggs. Every morning usually I have 4 or 5 eggs, of which I only eat the white, and I give the yellow to the dogs. So things are changing, and they are becoming crazy, but it seems to me that for where we are, the craziness is not as rampant as it apparently is in other places, and those other places are usually in towns. We're not really in a town. Plus, I guess if you really look at it, we're not set with that feeling of desperation that would be based on, well, what are we going to do if there's no food in the shops? What can we do? Because for us, we live on what I've laughingly called small, scruffy farm, and we have vegetables growing around us. We have coconut there. I mean, there are hundreds of coconut trees. There are, if we look hard enough, there are pineapple trees, banana. So I'm sure that if it really came to it, we also have rice. Selfishly speaking, we're going to be okay, so we don't need to go crazy. But I understand how people would get desperate. Plus, we're making, in looking at that, I'm looking here at if you look at it, there's, I've lost it. There's a picture there. No, I lost it again. How can I get it back? There's a picture there, look, of a full trolley. I can't really justify, I can't judge the people that would have that trolley, because I don't know what their situation is. One of the things that we do need an abundance of is understanding and tolerance for other people that are there. And that's what we need to be looking at now. Thanks for looking in. Good luck. We hold everybody in our prayers. Bye for now.